Door locked, tissue ready, it's time to blast off. Guys, absolute game changer. In our upload just a few hours ago, we said it was very likely that we could be experiencing a dump. However, at 11 minutes and 50 seconds into the video, we had a title here, The One Exception, and this was specifically about the DXY. And what do you know? The exact hour that the DXY began pulling back, Bitcoin began rallying explosively. And guys, we've got a lot to be jumping into. Let's get right into it. Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Squirty Pete, and boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to be getting excited about because we might be able to set a new all-time high tonight. Okay, this is absolutely absurd. Guys, I mean, there's a lot I'm going to be discussing in this video, and just from my own train of thought, cannot waste too much time. So if you guys love gainers, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, hit that bell, hit that like. We have a lot to be jumping into. Bitcoin is just oh so exciting, and with just days until this year is over, boy, there's a lot on our plates, and realistically, what can really stop this thing? Let's delve into it. So guys, a lot to get into, and specifically on this DXY chart, and we're going to be looking at Bitcoin as well, pretty much most of this video, but I want to start off with three different things. Okay, first off, I asked this earlier, and this was a genuine question. Is there any scenario that you can think of in your mind that would make it more favorable to keep your capital in US dollars than, say, something like Bitcoin, say something even like gold, right? Is there any scenario that you can fathom, that you can imagine, that would make holding your money in US dollars more favorable than Bitcoin? I mean, you can see some of the answers right here. No, never, nah, basically no. The answer is basically no. If you have an answer, please make sure to leave it. But basically the point of me asking that is because if the answer truly is no, then the sky limit, the moon explosion on Bitcoin is out of this world, right? And so it's exciting. That's mainly why I tweeted that, because if you can give me a real answer why you should be in USD other than Bitcoin, then maybe we shouldn't be so bullish on Bitcoin. But guys, I mean, it's a challenge to you guys. If you guys can come up with a reason you should be in USD, let me know, and then maybe we'll get a little less bullish on Bitcoin, but I just find that very unlikely. And basically, I want to add on to that very soon after is that the DXY began testing its lowest levels in the last 3 years just a few hours ago, basically as Bitcoin began pumping. Now, we're going to go over a few other things before we do this, guys. This is actually a huge moment. Okay, so this is three different charts. This is really zoomed far back. 2 is a little more zoomed in, and 3 is basically right now. So clearly, this is absolutely wild. It's unreasonable, in my opinion, to think that if the DXY falls here, here, and here, if it just starts falling and inching down to some of these levels, it's basically guaranteed, it's basically guaranteed, I'm pretty sure objectively, that the Bitcoin's going to moon. It's going to explode. Okay, and then the last thing I wanted to cover here is that if it breaks past this level, which is basically around $88, which could happen at any moment. Somebody asked me when. I mean, this could happen today, this could happen tomorrow, this could happen this month. Whenever it happens, we could see Bitcoin doing absolutely unreasonable things. We've seen the DXY dump before, but I mean, fundamentally, we have never had a situation even close to what we're living through right now. I think many of you would agree 2020 has been the wildest year. I was born in the 90s, and this is by far the craziest year that I've ever experienced. I thought a few years of my life were pretty bad, but this was absolutely wild. But because I'm invested in crypto, this year actually, so far, has been pretty darn good in that respect. So, and I think a lot of you agree with that as well. For people in crypto, this year actually was not that bad, especially if we're talking about finances. So guys, what in Turkey Town is going on with these charts? Well, you see we had this dump, and it really started right about hour 22 here on UTC time. So right about here is where it started, and that's exactly 22.23 right here, and you see we started making this move to the upside right around 22.23 as this began going down. And how far down are we? Well, this is actually pretty significant. Okay, for one, we've broken back above 28,000 US dollars, which is absolutely wild. Now this is a game of getting hourly 4 6-hour closes, right? Just significant closes basically above previous closes. Currently, we're actually sitting above our highest close ever, our highest hourly close ever on Bitcoin's chart. I believe it was right around, it's actually under 28,000. So that is the highest we've ever closed. And again, that leads us more likely to actually keep getting closes like this and approach $30,000 extremely soon, which again, mind-blowing to think. And this is the entire reason, right? Again, what we said in our last upload is very likely, in my opinion. I think we're going to get some sort of pullback. But guys, the X factor that we did mention in that video, we spent a few minutes towards the end, so I know a lot of you might not have seen that part. You can go back and watch it now. It's timestamped 11 minutes and 50 seconds. Basically, all we were saying is there is an X factor, and that is if the DXY continues to set new lows, then Bitcoin, forget the TA. And let me actually highlight that as well, because I should probably start saying these two statements at the beginning of every video from now on. Basically, TA is going to get pushed to the side a little bit more in terms of fundamentals, taking a little more of a spotlight. So that is the one thing, meaning TA might be a little less important moving forward, especially as in price discovery, blue sky breakout as Bitcoin's exploding. As we're finding the true value of Bitcoin, at least in this cycle, TA might become a little less important than before. Okay, and number two is we can completely throw TA on Bitcoin's chart out the window if we start seeing massive swings in the DXY. So basically, if you really want to get a clear picture of where Bitcoin is going to go, this is basically, as far as I know, as far as I'm concerned, and until proven otherwise, this is basically like the Rosetta Stone, it seems like, dude. This thing is absolutely insane. This is the daily chart, and if we close the daily chart where we are right now, if we close this candle, this will be the lowest that the DXY has closed. Let's see how far this goes back. I'm pretty sure it's like almost 3 years. Yeah, it'll be the lowest that we've closed since April of 2018, so a little less than 3 years. Now guys, what's more interesting is if we zoom out here. This is on the daily chart. If we zoom out here, I've been saying this particular thing for a while. I said this about 2 videos ago, I believe, is that many people are talking about the possibility that this is a sort of like a falling wedge, and we're going to break up similar to like we did last time. Okay, this is very ugly. I just tried to plot it real quick, but I've been saying I don't think that we're going to have a breakup here. Okay, this has been one argument I've been hearing from a fair amount of people. I think it's a pretty common consensus that a lot of people think it might actually break up here like we did here. I personally think, and it would be at the same exact level basically as well. I personally think we're not. And the reason I think that is because obviously the Federal Reserve has printed, I mean, trillions of dollars. What is it, like 20-30% of our entire monetary supply this year, something insane. And I'm pretty sure they're going to keep printing. So again, fundamentally, that's why I asked that question on Twitter. Can we expect people to throw their money back into USD? Fundamentally, no. There's no reason why anyone should do that because you're just going to be losing value. And that's the trajectory that we're probably going to be seeing for, at this point, over a year based on what the Fed has said. So do I think we're going to get a bounce here? No. So logically, what does that mean? If we don't get a bounce here and we keep going lower, what does that mean? We said this in the video just a few hours ago, maybe 6 hours ago. It means maximum pumpage for cryptocurrency, okay? And even these small moves, because we only went down like a very small percent, but we did go clearly down. Bitcoin started pumping, okay? It was insanely correlated. And like I said, if we get it, this is the lowest we've been in basically 3 years. If we can get a close where we are here and we continue this dump, then Bitcoin is going to keep rallying, honestly. I mean, I really see no other alternative. This the inverse correlation here is stronger than any correlation or inverse correlation on any chart that I've ever seen. And guys, what's most exciting about this too is that you see this is our level of about 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago of support that we have. But what's the most interesting is that below that, let's take a look and see what's below that. Put this on a weekly time frame so you can see below that. It's pretty much no man's land. We could go substantially lower if we break below this key level. Honestly, the reason this bounced back in 2018, this has a fair amount of support and resistance going back. You can see that here. But yeah, if we breach below this level or even come down to this level, let's say we breach below that level, guys, I think it's pretty reasonable to anticipate we could be seeing massive up to 5-digit Bitcoin price swings if this thing collapses as fast as it could. Now, I said in the last video that I personally think that we're going to see this collapse over the next month, right? We're going to see it kind of come down to these levels over the next month. But let's be realistic too, and especially based on what we've just seen, it could happen faster than that. And that's why you need to be prepared, because if it fundamentally does happen faster than that, then Bitcoin's going to blow up. Bitcoin's going to explode. Price predictions become extremely low, and the actual price of Bitcoin is a lot higher fundamentally if the US dollar continues losing value. So guys, let's actually switch over to this chart now and just take a look at Bitcoin, because currently what we're doing right now, and this makes sense, I'm extremely excited to see what this does over the next let's say 16 hours, maybe retesting this level here. Like we just said about getting a close, this will be very important here. Currently we do have actually our highest close here, I believe. Yeah, it looks like we do have our highest close, hourly close right here. So already a good step, already a big step. Now, keep in mind, we could easily revisit this in a second if the DXY starts moving back to the upside. Let's put this back on a daily chart. But as I'm recording this video, it's not. As I'm recording this video, it is the lowest candle that we've had in the last 3 years. So yeah, if we switch back to this chart, you can see massive upside there. Re-entered back into this fib zone, basically we're basically retesting all-time highs yet again. So very exciting. And again, we've actually held this line. This was the other one bullish technical Bitcoin only chart that I was sharing in the other video. I was mainly showing bearish Bitcoin signals in the last video, or TA, but this was the one extremely bullish one that I showed. The rest were fairly bearish, aside from this chart and the DXY chart correlation there. So guys, absolutely huge reason to get excited, because we're not just dealing with Bitcoin's price here. We're not just dealing with Bitcoin's price action. We have a fundamental crisis, which is very beautifully illustrated on this chart. And if this thing continues to go lower, which again is exactly why I asked that question on Twitter, is there any reason why it shouldn't? Then we can only expect Bitcoin to absolutely rally here. And actually, I believe we're even seeing Ethereum kind of retest its all-time highs of the last year now currently as well. Yeah, Ethereum's kind of bouncing now as well because Bitcoin is doing well. So ultimately, guys, again, we're watching this chart. As soon as this chart is breached, which, wow, let's actually take a look, because Bitcoin's very high up again. Let's see. Let's take a peek here. How far are we from all-time highs? We are like roughly 3%, less than $30 billion as I'm recording this. This is where the fireworks begin. Just massive excitement all around. Wow, so if you guys like this kind of content, make sure to leave a like below. Helps out the channel immensely. Subscribe and turn on those post notifications as well. And for anybody with experience and interested in supporting the channel, experience trading, make sure to check out our links to Bybit below. Very nice bonuses currently going on, roughly $200. Keep in mind, trading is always risky, whether you use leverage on the site or not, because you can choose not to use leverage, is always risky. So never trade more than you're willing to lose.